People ask me all the time, how do I journal? What do I write about? I'm just getting into it, or I've done this for years and I'm feeling stale. What are some fresh takes on it? So I have actually 7 ideas for you to take your journaling to the next level, to tap into journaling if you've never done it, or to freshen it up if you are a seasoned journaler. Many people are implementing new tools into their daily routines to take care of themselves, enhance their relationship with self, to build their inner confidence, to improve their self love muscles, and to feel better, right? That's why we do these morning practices, these rituals. I am pumped you are here. That is all about creating epic results in your life while creating a life that feels fucking good. It is not just all results or just feeling good. We live in the both and the epic results in your health, in your business, your finances, your career, your body, your relationships, and one that feels good. We don't self-sacrifice here. We grant ourselves permission and we fucking go for it. After the last, I would say 9 or 10 years, at least, because I was journaling well before my divorce. It's probably been like at least 10 years. I have gone through every single wave. I will tell you that when I was going through my divorce, journaling was like the practice that kept me grounded. It was the thing. When I first got pregnant, I could not journal. I was like anti-journal, anti-writing. It was just not available for me. So I've experienced the like full need of journaling, and I've also experienced the full aversion to journaling and writing. So the whole purpose of us writing is to really create space and drop in. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that these different prompts are going to support you, but I like to really remember our why. Why the fuck are we getting out a journal and a pen every morning and writing in it? Are we doing it because someone told us to? Which, hey, that was me in the beginning of my personal development journey. I'm like, oh, someone told me this would make me feel good, so I got to do this every day. And then it became something that I needed to do. It was on my to-do list, and it started to actually harm my concept of self, because if I didn't journal, then I started to feel like a failure. So I want to put the caveat in here that you get to create your morning rituals or your nighttime rituals and routines based on what feels good for you. As a woman, you have a really unique fluctuation of a hormonal cycle. Men have the same 24-hour cycle every single day. And so some days you are going to feel like sitting down with a warm, cozy cup of tea or coffee and journaling is going to be the perfect thing to start your day. And it's quite possible that there are going to be some moments in that cycle, whether you're following your actual cycle or the cycle of the moon, that you're going to feel like you need to move your body instead, or you need to go for a walk, or you need to take that cold shower or hot shower. You need to go do a movement meditation. If you have not checked out my movement meditations on YouTube, I have some free ones over there. And I also have a ton recorded in Club Full Out, our membership. Not only do you get this online portal that has all of my movement meditations, pep talks, trainings, all sorts of good video stuff. Yeah, we're going to say stuff. But we also have a live call every single month. So if that's something interesting to you, it's only $99 a month. It's a great way to tap into some new practices and have some community. But back to where we were. Some days you're going to want to have that movement, and other days you know that you're going to need to get things out of your mind, to really uncover some deeper layers of things, to get some guidance from God, source, cosmos, goddess, whoever you believe in or write to. So without further ado, let's jump into these different prompts and these different ideas and intentions for writing. So the first one, we're going to get in some deep work first. We're going deep work first, okay? And then we're going to have some fun, and then I'm going to give you some more options. So we're going to talk about the deep work. And this first journaling prompt is really about connecting with the parts of you that are unexpressed. That inner child, the inner little girl, the inner teenager, the inner 20-year-old that is still battling whatever she's battling. And we have these different parts of us that coexist with us. And when we ignore them, or when we don't give a voice for them or give them space to express, then it keeps us stuck and blocked, sometimes in subconscious ways. And so, this letter from your inner child is really powerful when you are finding yourself in conflict, when you're finding yourself self sabotaging, when you're finding yourself feeling off, anxious, depressed, frustrated. Basically, when you're feeling not like your highest version of yourself, I always invite us into what part of me, what version of me is being activated right now? And what does she need to say? And so, in this letter from your inner child or your inner teenager or your inner 10-year-old, whatever age it is, you're going to give her a voice. You're going to write from her point of view. What does she need to say right now? What does she need to release? What's weighing on her? What does she wish that she had from her mom or her dad or her partner? What does she really need? What are the needs that she wants to express that have never been expressed? Where do you get to grant yourself permission to have the temper tantrum, to say the things that you've never said? Now, this is the beautiful thing about journaling. No one's ever going to see this. So you get to be raw and real. And what's really important in this, I like to really set the space for this. So I like to light a candle or incense. I like to create a sacred bubble. You could also put a picture of that version of you at whatever age on your altar or in front of your notebook so you can really connect with her. And it's really important that we don't censor her, that we allow her to say whatever the fuck she wants to say. If she wants to cuss, if she wants to write in loud, big capital letters, if she ends up wanting to cry or to yell, like you get to actually process this, not only through your journal, but through your body. We do more of that in other podcasts. And then here's the key. How do you make her feel seen, heard, and honored? So as you write all of this, let the emotions flow because clearly, remember, emotion is just energy in motion. This was stuck energy in your body. As you feel like it's coming to an end, you can put your pen down and then ask in your mind's eye, you can ask out loud, what is it you need from me? As the adult version of you who's doing her healing work, who knows that she's going to be okay, she's going to survive, what does the adult version need to give to that younger version? Is it a hug? Give yourself a hug. Is it a glass of water? Is it a walk around the block? Is it just the words of like, I see you. I hear you. You're going to be okay. We are going to be okay. I promise it's going to work out. I promise you're going to get through this. Give her the words of encouragement. Give her the honoring that she needs. This is a deep one. This is a powerful one. And this has the ability to completely shift things in your world and in your life. One of my favorite tools. We go deeper into a lot of this work in Full Out Foundations, my self-study course. And so if you really like this deeper work, definitely check that out or send me a DM. I'd love to tell you about it. Number 2, I could do probably a training on each of these, so I'm going to try to make them shorter. Number 2, this is another deep one, and we do some of this work in Full Out Foundations as well. Self-forgiveness letter. Where are you holding on to shame, guilt, or anger? When we hold on to these heavy things, also resentment, grief can also work in here. It acts as a heavy backpack and it weighs us down. So I like to start this letter with, Dear, insert your name. So I would say, Dear Sam, I forgive you for. And that's the prompt you're going to use. I forgive you for. I forgive you for. I forgive you for treating your body horribly in your 20s. I forgive you for thinking you needed to get those implants to feel loved. I forgive you for choosing partners that did not love you and honor you the way that you needed to be loved and honored. I forgive you for overworking and overachieving in college and burning yourself out at both ends. I forgive you for. I forgive you for. I forgive you for. I forgive you for. And you're going to go to town. Write down everything you've been holding on to. Write it all down. And if you've never done this exercise before, it can be incredibly powerful. If you've done this with me or if you've done this with another coach, you will be surprised by what other things have crept in since the last time you needed to write this letter. Now, I know that we're writing this in a journal, but what I really love doing with this letter is ripping it out and then safely burning it over either the pot, like a pot on the stovetop, or in the toilet, or ripping it up and putting it in the trash can. And what we're doing as we burn this, as we rip it up, is that we're releasing those emotions and those energies that were stuck, the work that was in that heavy backpack. We're actually releasing it. We're giving it up to God. We're giving it up to Source. We're laying it down so that it no longer is like a heavy backpack weighing you down. And this can create so much lightness. This can create so much freedom in the system by simply acknowledging what you don't need to hold on to. That is our self-forgiveness letter. Another deep one: set your sacred space, light the candle. You can visualize a golden ring of light around you. Make sure that you really have time and space for this one, because both the first one and the second one can be pretty emotional. And I encourage you to let yourself go there. Number 3, this is where it starts to get fun. This is the letter from your future self to your current self. So I would encourage you, and actually for these first 3, I would encourage you to either sit in a closed-eyed meditation or sit for a couple breaths and really connect with the energy of the letter. For this one, we're going to connect with the energy of your future self. We're going to connect with what she looks like, what she feels like, how she carries herself in the world, what she thinks about life, how she shows up for life, her posture, her confidence, all of the energy of your future self. And then we get to ask her a question. And I would really invite into your future self writing this to dear you, dear Sam, and let her either just write freely or ask, what advice would my future self tell me right now? You can ask for guidance. You can ask for a single question of like, hey, what's the next step that I need to take here? What is the next right move? Is there guidance on this work thing? Is there guidance on this relationship thing? What advice would you give me? And then you get to just write down whatever comes to you. And this is where we don't overthink. We just trust whatever we write and whatever we discover and just know it's perfect. It might be one sentence. It might start as one sentence. And I'm going to invite you to keep your pen on the paper. Most of us get into our logical brains out of this, and we don't stay in it long enough to get what we really need. Or maybe you have one sentence and you get what you need, but you will be surprised by what comes through. The really cool thing about journaling is that it uses both sides of the brain. So one side of the brain is doing the mechanical part of holding the pen, writing the letters, moving the pages. And then the other part of the brain allows just the energy to travel through, the information to come through. If you are someone who is intuitive and is connected or open to your spiritual gifts, you might find even more is going to come through you. This is an incredible way to in-source, resource your own inner wisdom. Your future self is you. She's already a version of you, and in some alternate reality, she already exists. And so we're tapping into her wisdom, her knowledge, which is your wisdom and your knowledge. And that's why this is so fucking powerful. So whatever you discover is perfect. Connect with her at the end of it, thank her, and then reread this. Let it be your reminder. Your next letter, number 4, is, I call it the lady brag. And this is one of my favorites. This is writing down everything that you've accomplished, moments you're proud of, times when you were fully in your power, and celebrating them. I am so proud of myself for. I am so proud of myself for. That's a really great prompt. If you're like, how do I start this? What do I say? I'm proud of me for. And I learned a really unique shift when I was early in my coaching business. And after I had gotten my certification and we were talking about gratitude letters, right? Most people are like, I'm going to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. P.S. That's like not on our list today. You can totally add that as a bonus, but most people already know that one. But what the gratitude list really was promoting at a certain point in time for me was everything externally. So I'd be grateful for something outside of me, which was beautiful because it did open my eyes to see all of the miracles and the magic that was around me. But what it didn't do was build my own inner strength, power, confidence, and self-love. And so when we really focus on what are the things I'm proud of, What are the things I can celebrate about myself? We start to build that internal confidence and that internal power state. And that's what we're really looking to do. So in this lady brag, you could call it a celebration letter, you are writing down everything you're celebrating and make sure that these are not giant big things. Yes, you could be like, I was the valedictorian of my college and I double majored and I got hired by the Rockettes. Like, all that's great. Cool. But what am I really proud of? I'm proud of the fact that I drank 3 liters of water today and my body doesn't really want to, but I did it anyway. I'm proud of myself for going to bed early, even though I wanted to scroll on my phone last night. And we're starting to build this internal power state by celebrating all of who you are, all of what you've done. I want to make sure that you're not just celebrating things that you did, but you're also celebrating traits that are natural and inherent within you. So I am celebrating my willingness to be open to my intuitive gifts. I am celebrating my sensitive heart. I am celebrating that I have big emotions. I am celebrating that my big heart and my big emotions are part of my superpowers. Do you feel the difference in those two? So I want you to do it all, celebrating what's inherently within you and things that you've done that you're proud of, because we're going to strengthen both of those muscles. All right, moving on. Number 5. This one is all about writing your dreams and goals as if they've already happened. Now, I have a lot of my clients that will put this in our WhatsApp chat. They'll send me a message every day and they're like, Sam, I'm so excited to connect with you. I'm living my dream life. Here's what's happening in my relationships, my business, my health, my this, my that. And it hasn't happened yet. But again, if we're in an alternate universe and an alternate reality that's happening simultaneously, it's already happened. And what we're doing is strengthening the imagination, strengthening the visual images in our brain that show us this is possible. This is part of manifestation. So we're writing in the present tense as if whatever it is that you want to see and you want to do and you want to experience has already happened. I remember reading a Rachel Hollis book like 8 bajillion years ago, and she was writing about having her like top 10 things that she was excited to have happen that haven't happened yet. And her being a New York Times bestseller was on that list. And now she did it as a list, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the things that I'm, celebrating have happened that hadn't. In this, you can do that in that way, listing it out. I prefer more of a story, more of a stream of consciousness, more of a like, oh my gosh, I woke up in the most gorgeous bed. My sheets feel and smell so good. I rolled over and I saw my partner and I jumped out of bed, so excited to go into my morning rituals. And then I get so excited to eat this incredible meal. And then you talk about your day, you talk about that ideal day, that ideal vision of what it is that you actually want to be living. What's the life you want to be living? And now the key in this is start to feel what that feels like in your body. So this journal prompt, I think, is like the most magical, the most fun. If you want to take it an extra step, then you can find a friend to voice note every day about this. If you don't have a friend, do it in your journal or do it to a voice note to yourself and replay it. That's a really special one. But I think that this one is so fun. This is where we get to dream. Most of us haven't been given permission to dream, to want more, or we feel like too much or too big. If we do dream, if we do say these things out loud, this is your permission slip. Go wild, go big, and then times it by 10. Can you make it even bigger? Can you make it even bigger? And you'll notice that if you do this daily, that details might shift, right? Details might change from day to day, but the overall energy could come through even stronger. And you'll be surprised by what you discover when you do this every day of like, ooh, there's a new detail I didn't know. Ooh, that's really fun. That makes me excited. And it's going to put you in the energy of creation, put you in the energy of flow, where you are fully connected to your higher self, fully connected to where you're going, your manifestations, your goals, and your dreams. And you're telling yourself it's already happened. Whew. Okay, I'm like sweating. I'm so happy. I love this one. All right, now let's dive into the next one, number 6. This is a brain dump stream of consciousness. This is for those days where you're like, you know what? I'm not really feeling any of those prompts. I would still say the last one's like a really good one, especially if you're like not in a great mood, but you don't know what to write about. Definitely do the dreams and goals as if they've already happened. But the brain dump stream of consciousness is a really great check-in. Where am I today? What's real for me today? What am I noticing in my body? What am I noticing in my mind? How am I feeling? What's real? And this is a really beautiful check in. Most of us are so busy going, or we're so busy being stuck in the past and what didn't work out for us, or what we're still grieving, or what we're still upset about. And I know that might contradict myself. A lot of us are also so focused on what's coming that we're taking ourselves out of the present. And so being able to tap into what is real for me in this moment is really powerful in slowing us down and rooting us into the present. The present is the only place that we can actually experience peace and ease and breath. And it is from this present moment that we are creating from. And so you might find that you start with whatever's real for you. Like, I'm actually feeling really crunchy. I don't know what to write about today. I'm not sure what's coming up. And then as soon as you start, the stream of consciousness will go. Again, keep your pen on the paper, allow yourself to keep writing because you might surprise yourself. And what I find when I'm doing these stream of consciousness, journaling prompts is that sometimes I will lead into, hey, this is where I really need to forgive myself. Or, ooh, you know what? This would feel really delicious. And I'm going to start writing about my goals and dreams as if they've already happened. Or I'm going to start writing my affirmations around what I desire in my life as a mom and a business owner. I'm going to start really feeling into XYZ. And so it's a really great place to start if you're like, I just don't know what to write today. Great. Ask your body, what am I feeling? What have I been overthinking about? What do I want to release? What do I want to let go of? What do I want to feel right now? What is real? And I love that question. None of it's right or wrong. It's simply you expressing what is real for you in this moment. And again, how often do we actually give ourselves permission to drop in and to say, hey, what's real? Without me needing to be positive, without me needing to fix anything, simply honoring where we are is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. Okay. And the last one, this is a scribing exercise. And this is something that I learned from one of my priestess mentors. And this is when we ask a question to your higher power. It could be source, cosmos, goddess, your higher self, any of the above, maybe your spirit team, if you're connected to that. And you could say, what do I need to know about my business? What do I need to know about my relationship? What is the one thing that I'm missing right now? What direction do I go? What do I really need? And you pause and you breathe, and then you allow yourself to write. Now, what I like to do is really think of opening the top of my head, the crown up, and allowing the information to come in through the top of my head, down through my arm, and just to write without it needing to make sense, without punctuation, without rereading it, just simply allowing the pen to flow. And this is one of those intuitive tools that will support us in opening up our connection to higher wisdom and higher knowledge. I know some friends that do this with Mother Mary. I know some friends that do this with Mary Magdalene, that do this with other big figures in the world and in energetic space. You can really do what feels good for you. I know some people do this with the new moon. Hey, Gemini moon, what information do you have for me? Hey, full moon, what's available here? Hey, spirit baby, tell me this. You can even write to a loved one and ask a loved one that's crossed over for information. And I want to invite you again. This is like, I want to say it's a little bit more next level in that it requires a lot of self trust and getting out of your head and a lot of really honoring whatever comes through and not judging yourself for it. In all of these, you are going to write for as long as you have, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe you have like a bigger morning routine space and time. If you need to set a timer for yourself, set a timer. For all of these, honor whatever is there. I don't go back and read my journals. I don't think I ever have until like years later. And I'm like, oh, wow, I think it's fascinating what I was going through in 2020. Wow, would you look at what I was going through in 2023? Oh my gosh, look at what I was going through in the beginning part of my relationship. Look at this. And I love it from a big, far lens, like looking back. I don't reread what I'm writing at all because I don't think it serves me. So trust yourself that no one's going to read this. You don't have to reread it. And, I even think it's really funny because I'm someone that saves journals. I've been journaling since I was 16. But the one journal, I specifically remember this, the journal that I wrote in every single day as I was leading up to my divorce. I remember particularly writing in it in New York, crying from a street bench on the West Side Highway. And I remember looking for it a year later or 2 years later, being like, I would love to tap into like that version of me. Like, what was she feeling? What was she experiencing? It might be something I want to like tap into for my book one day. And guess what? That fucking notebook is gone. I could not find it anywhere. And it's like universe was like, hey, you don't need to revisit this ever again. So it is gone. I don't know if it fell in the trash. I don't know. It got lost in the move. If my ex found it, I could not tell you, but I trust in the universe that was like, hey, this is never for you to touch again. Release it, let it go. So as you are in these journals, just know that it's a really cool time capsule. It's a really cool way to look at how far you've come, and there's zero pressure to ever read it again. You can literally go through a journal, burn it, get it done, go through a journal, throw it away, have a release ceremony for it, and then start fresh. And I know that with the beginning of the year, people are starting their new journals. So I hope that this really supported you. Thought it was going to be a quickie, wasn't quite quick, but I hope this supported you and gave you some more tools for how you can really deepen your journaling practice in honor and support of your highest self, in support of your most empowered self, your most full out self. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM at Samantha Jo Harvey. Let me know if you want to go deeper, if you have more clarification questions on it. If you're not on the full out email list, you can click the link below to get email updates from me and all the goodies in the full out world. My friend, have an amazing week. If you love this, send it to a friend, share it, tag me at Samantha Jo Harvey, and I'll see you next time.